Today we're going to be talking about the elements of a story so we can write our own. The 6 main ones we're going to talk about is setting, characters, the conflict, the details, the events of the story, the resolution, and the message of the story.
The first element we're going to talk about on our story go. So put your hand up like this. This is your story, right here, in the palm of your hand. There's 6 elements of a story like I showed you. Well, each one represents a different part of your hand. The first one we're going to talk about is your pinky. That's the setting.
Okay, the first thing, the most important and most crucial element of a story is your setting. That's where or when the story takes place. So I'm going to show you a couple more examples. A closet. You could have a secret adventure in here. You could do a survival story in the forest. Another setting could be a gym, and you could have all kinds of stuff happen in here.
Okay. The next one we're going to talk about, so let's get your story glove back out. Remember, what was our pinky? That's right. It was the setting. Now, the next thing we need to think about is our ring finger. That is, you guessed it, characters. Alright, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what characters are, but remember, setting, now, characters.
Okay, the next element are characters. You can find tons of characters you can see in a library. Here we have Twilight. We have Vampire as a character. He's not human, but he still speaks, so he's a character. And then there's Bella. She's a main character, too. Then we have, you can also have animals that are characters. Even though they don't talk, they can still be main people or things or animals in your story. Like here we have an eagle. That can be a character, whether it speaks or not.
Okay, when we talk about characters, we need to do more than just add names to our story. We need to develop them. The first thing to develop characters is think about their characteristics. There are 2 different kinds of characteristics. There's there is physical characteristics. Physical characteristics is what your character looks like from the outside. How do you describe what he or she looks like? Maybe it. The second type of characteristic they can have is their personal or emotional characteristics. How's their personality? Are they mean? Are they sad? Are they snotty? Are they really sweet? We don't know. What do you think is the best way to bring this out? Dialogue. We've talked extensively about dialogue and how important it is to our writing. We can't get a feel for the character by you always telling us. We, the reader, need to experience the character's personality through what he or she says, as well as their actions. Here's some different personalities and characters I thought might help you get things going. See if you can spot the different physical and emotional, personal characteristics between these 3 examples. Excuse me, young lady. Do you know how fast you were going? I don't believe you do. These are dangerous parts around here. You can get lost pretty darn easy around these parts. Dude, that was like totally awesome! Man, did you see when I was going like this and my front end was way up here? Oh yeah, man. That was sweet! Like, oh my god, you would not believe that girl. She was so mean to me. I could not believe she said those things. Ugh, just because my hair is blonde does not give her a right to make fun of me. Ugh, whatever. Okay, so far we've talked about our story glove. Our pinky was, yes, the setting. Then our ring finger was the characters. Now, our middle finger here, this one is the conflict. We're going to talk a little bit more about conflict, and I'm even going to show you some more examples of the different types of conflict so you're not confused and you can write an awesome story.
Okay, there's two types of conflict that you can have in your story. There's internal and external. We're going to talk about external. External, man versus man. You talking to me?
What? Got a problem?
Okay, the second type of conflict was internal. That's man versus himself or herself. Oh, I'm so stupid. Why did you do that? Oh my God, I don't know what to do.
Okay, our next one with our story glove. Let's review though before I introduce any more. Our pinky is the setting. The ring finger is the characters. Our middle finger that we just learned was the conflict. Now this little index finger, I call this one the details.
Okay, details. This is one of the most important parts of your story as well, because it includes all the information that the reader needs to know in order to identify the conflict and its resolution. So say everything that you can and be as descriptive as possible.
Okay, let's go over it one more time. I know you're getting tired of it, but it still is good for practice. Alright, so our pinky is setting. The ring finger, characters. Our middle finger is conflict. Our index finger is details. Now, the new one, our thumb. Our thumb is the resolution. We're going to talk a little more about resolution. I'll show you some notes here. Remember, the thumb, it's the ending. So all of these fingers lead up to this one.
Okay, the last part of your story is going to be the resolution. The resolution is an ending to your story. It is how the main conflict that we talked about earlier is resolved. And all the other loose ends, anything else you mentioned during your story, it's all wrapped up. There's no, wait, what about that guy? All that, it all makes sense at the end. Alright, and also your ending doesn't always have to be a happy ending. Romeo and Juliet, main character dies. Tragedies sometimes are really meaningful stories as well as your happy endings too.
Okay, one last time, I swear. Let's go over it. The pinky is setting. The ring finger is characters. The middle finger is, yes, it's the conflict. Our index finger is the details. Our thumb is our resolution or our ending. And our newest one, our last one, it's the middle here, the palm. This is called the meaning of the story.
Okay, the last part of our story glove was the palm inside. That's what we call the meaning. It's the message of the overall of the story. Alright, not every story has to have a clear-cut meaning lesson learned, but it's something that you can consider for your own story. Alright, something to think about is, what did the characters learn in the story? Was there a message or some kind of lesson that they realized? And what did the reader learn from the actions of the character? Maybe as someone reads your story, they'll learn a lesson.
Now it's your turn. Test what you know. Take your blank piece of paper and get your pencil. Lay your right hand on the paper and trace it. Put your name at the top. What I want you to do is look at the hand on the screen and look at the hand that you have drawn on your paper. I want you to label each finger. Make sure you label all 6 parts of your hand. Good luck.